Hello and welcome to this edition of Healthy Habits. I'm Amy Davis. Today we have Jeannie Peters, a registered dietitian and healthy aging expert. And today she's going to talk to us about an anti-aging vitamin that we all need to live. Jeannie, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thanks, Amy. I'm glad to be here.
Now, I'm sure being the expert that you are, you get plenty of patients coming to you wanting to know what the magic trick to anti-aging is. And in fact, magic isn't really necessary. I'm under the understanding that you actually recommend one simple yet major thing to patients that they could do to improve their health. Could you tell us what that is?
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't matter whether you're 6 or 60. My number one tip for anybody who wants to improve their health would be to optimize their vitamin D levels. Low vitamin D is epidemic right now. The average range or normal range of vitamin D is 30 to 100. And yet most of the clients that are coming into our practice, both the young kids, teenagers, and adults, are running levels that are below 30 or maybe somewhere between 30 and 40. So it's epidemic, and yet we know that if we can optimize those levels, so many healthy things can happen.
Wow, that's actually shocking.
Yeah.
I know I recently got tested and I had incredibly low vitamin D levels. What would you say is the main reason why we're deficient? Is deficiency, really a problem with
Absolutely.
a lot of Americans?
Yeah, it's definitely a problem, Amy. And one of the things why we want to optimize vitamin D is because it's related to so many issues in our health. So for example, getting optimal levels can decrease your risk for cancer, prostate, colon cancer, breast cancer, all cancers. It can improve your cardiovascular disease. So anybody who has heart disease can improve. It can improve diabetes. We know that people who have autoimmune diseases like MS or even diseases like celiac disease,
Wow.
their immunity strengthens when their vitamin D levels are at the optimal range. It's kind of like liquid sunshine also in your body, so it actually improves just the way you think and the way you feel. The problem is that because most of us are indoors these days, none of us are getting enough
And wearing
vitamin D.
sunblock. I know I'm guilty of wearing sunblock every day on my
we
face.
go out, we put it on, and we think, oh, that's going to help us, but it's actually protecting us from absorbing the vitamin D that we need.
And how does someone know that they're deficient in vitamin D? And if so, what kind of tests can be done? I know I had a blood test for other things and that's how they find it, but I wasn't necessarily, worried that I was deficient in vitamin D. I had no idea.
Yeah, nobody knows because you don't necessarily feel the symptoms. What I would recommend is that somebody gets just a vitamin D test, a 125 hydroxy vitamin D. It's simple and most physicians could go ahead and run that. So that would at least let you know what your baseline is. Then if you found that you were somebody that was below 30, like in the case you were below 30, then you really want to make sure that you're optimizing your levels. We'll talk about that in a moment. I, as a dietitian, as well as I work in tandem with my husband, Dr. Alan Peters, and we like to have people above 50.
Okay.
We prefer to see people more in the 50 to 100 range because we know that that's what's going to help optimize. It's like the difference between getting a C and an A. You don't want to be a C student, you want to be an A student. And where you were basically failing.
Yes.
So let me show you a couple ways that you could go ahead. So something to be aware of, it's difficult to get vitamin D in food sources. So the standard RDA is 400 international units. It absolutely needs to be changed. There's a whole body of science right now recognizing that we need to up those levels. But for example, if you have a glass of milk, milk is fortified, so you can get 400 IUs.
And that means it's added.
It's been added, and you can get naturally, butter has a source of vitamin D just so it's naturally occurring. Eggs can be a source of vitamin D, but you're getting minimal levels. Most of us need to supplement. So let me tell you what you need to look for. When you're getting D, you want to look for D3. That's the best absorbed. And vitamin D is actually a fat-soluble vitamin, so it's best if you can take it when you're eating something with fat. It'll help to go ahead
So don't just take it on empty stomach with water, because it's not going to really...
Yeah, that's a good thing. And so don't take it on an empty stomach, take it with food. The second thing to look for is if you're somebody like you and you're under 30, you may need to go to 5,000 international units a day in order to get your levels up.
Jeannie, thank you so much for being here with us and giving us something to think about. I hope to have you back sometime soon.
I would love that. Thanks, Amy.
That's going to do it for this edition of Healthy Habits. We'll see you next time.